Got a jam-packed studio here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Teddy woke up this morning and said, "Got to take Dad donuts." So we got donuts.
A little late for National Donut Day, but I'm not complaining.
That's all right. Yeah. Hey, they still smell good. We'll still eat them. At least two of the three of us will.
Teddy walked in here like he owned the place.
Yes.
He knew exactly where to go, where he wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. Looks like you got some remnants of donuts on your face to begin with.
Said, "Give me this mic."
Hi.
Yes. He's got a Pistons hat on.
Yes. You just can't grab the mic, bud. Say whatever you want to say. You say go Lions?
Go Lions.
There we go.
Got some Lions
Yes,
gear
we're
on
working,
too.
we're working on that one. So
Getting ready for football season.
Yeah. But so Tigers
take 2 or 3 over the weekend against the Cubs. Everybody's in a good mood. Great crowds at the ballpark over the weekend. I thought the crowd made a statement saying we're back in this team. The team made a statement taking 2 or 3 against the best team in the National League. You want to talk about feathering your cap, the biggest series win of the year? That's what the Tigers just pulled off over the weekend.
They did, and this is on the heels of everything that we've seen this team do, right? They lose 3 to the Dodgers. They respond against Seattle and through the rest of the start of this season. And then they lose a series to Cleveland. They respond to the Giants. They sweep them. Now they split a series with the White Sox, and they come back and they beat one of the best teams in baseball, one of the best teams in the National League that they may actually – people were saying this could be a preview of the World Series. Now, I think it's going to be more the Dodgers, but this is an opportunity for them to show what they can do against one of the better teams, and they win a series against the Cubs.
Yeah, shy of beating the Dodgers, which not on the schedule until it would really matter. This is the best series you could win. Mm-hmm. And they did it. And they did it with stellar pitching, a 1-2 punch. That's the best offense in baseball. Skubal holds them to 1. Flaherty, hey, headline, Jack is back.
Yeah.
Shuts him out, 9 strikeouts. A little favorable strike zone, but he made him pay. And that's 4 straight quality starts for Flaherty. 6+ innings, limiting the damage, big-time strikeouts. Jack's back. They have a 1-2 punch, and they needed a 1-2 punch to slow down the best offense in baseball.
And it just goes to everything. I know I've been harping on this, but how consistent this team is when things don't go well, because it's a long season. And you're not going to always have your A game. Even when they don't have their A game, they still find ways to win. When you don't put out a great pitching performance, they have found ways to win. They've been very opportunistic, but it's what makes this team, I think, so fun. There's no Shohei Ohtani. There's no Aaron Judge. There's, we got Kerry Bonds. We're making up a name for a guy because we want him to be this home run king, but there's just so many guys on this team that step up when they need to.
Yeah, Kerry's flashing the leather, robbing a home run, making the big throw to get the run out at home plate. He had a great series. Guys have stepped up all across this roster. They're a much deeper team than the team that used smoke and mirrors to get in the playoffs a year ago. And they're the model of consistency in Major League Baseball. That's your headline.
And how about the wizardry of AJ Hinch, Jahmai Jones?
Yes.
When you need him the most, boom.
Midas touch, first at bat, first pitch, home run, bye, see you later. The other thing to me, the big headline, an observation, the Tigers have caught the Lions. Big crowds, big expectations, and neither team has anything to prove until the playoffs start. Right? I mean, what can the Tigers prove at this point? They have to do it in the postseason, much like the Lions.
Yeah, the expectation is not just to win the division, but their expectation is that they're going to be in the postseason and they're going to be successful in the postseason. It was a fun run last year. It was exciting. It was historic. It was unexpected. Now the expectations are that they are going to most likely have I think the expectations are going to have the best record in the American League by the end of the season.
Yes, that is the expectation, which, like, the Lions had the best record in the NFL last season. And that means you don't have to deal with that 3-game wild card, much like the Lions didn't have to deal with a first-round playoff game. Like, I think the Tigers have caught the Lions, which is a hell of a statement because we've had so much fun with the Lions.
Yeah.
But that ballpark this weekend, I was there Sunday, that was a lot of fun. And I've seen some ticket texts today going, well, the Saturday crowd was more Cubs. Cubs had more to cheer about on Saturday, but I'll tell you, that was not a 50-50 split.
Right.
That's a 95-5 split on the Sunday game I was at.
Yeah.
Tiger fans showed up this weekend.
They showed up, they showed out, and it was every bit of the 120,000 over a 3-game stretch that we thought they were going to be. It was sellouts. Now the question is, for a midweek game, are we on a regular basis going to have 25,000 people for a Tuesday night game? All right, we won't find out this week because they got 3 games on the road. But when they come back...
So this sets up well. The Tigers have a bunch of home weekends coming up still. They're going to home again next weekend. Cincinnati in town. The road trip the following weekend, but then home weekend with the Twins at the end of the month. Like, there's going to be more of these games where the city pours into the ballpark.
It's not just the Scooball start, right? It's the excitement around every time they take the field. Everyone's super excited. They know what they're going to get with the Scooball start. At least they anticipate. Now with Flaherty, that anticipation is there. Now, what is it going to be after that?
Right.
So obviously it's a huge weekend for Flaherty, and I was questioning whether the Tigers had a number 2. I think he's proven it, especially against that team yesterday. That's one of the best offenses in baseball this year, and he shut them down. I was worried about that start, but he has taken away those words. Same with Torque. I was questioning him on Friday. He had slipped below 230. He had a good weekend, 5 for 12. My statement, though, is I believe the team and the manager have proven that they're legit contenders, but they do need help. They've told, for me, the statement from the weekend is the team told the GM, president, we need help.
Yeah, we're a legitimate team.
We need to be significant buyers.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, it's not a cry for help because they won 2 or 3, but it's a rallying cry. Look how good we are. Don't let this go by the wayside. Do everything you can to invest in this team at the deadline.
The players are coming through in clutch situations, but it's gotten to be a little bit more grind in the lineup. AJ's plugging a dam with Job right now. Chaos isn't working like it worked last year, the opener / bullpen. They're doing it. They're holding the dam back, but I don't think they need a ton of help. I said the word significant. They've got to address third base. It looks like Vierling he might not come back. Right. So I think they're getting squeezed slowly here, and it may not get completely exposed because of the teams you just listed who they're playing. I mean, they can run this thing here pretty good coming up with this schedule. The Baltimore's playing better, but after that...
Yeah, think about this. The upcoming stretch for the Tigers: Baltimore, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Tampa, the Athletics, Minnesota, Washington, and now we're at the 4th of July where Cleveland's back in town. Or they're in Cleveland, excuse me. But in that span, there's a chance to... They're up 7 games in the division, get up double digits to really make some noise here.
And it's... So they're still winning, right? That's not the question. They're still winning.
Yeah.
But they've been able to do it in the month of May when the bats weren't what they were early, or continuing to do in June what the bats weren't doing earlier in the season. They have been able to win some games when they haven't had Scooball on the mound or Flaherty pitching his best on the mound. They've been able to win some of those, but they're not glossing over. It is very apparent that I think they do need some relief help. Like, they need somebody to get to Will Vest, to get to Canely. They need that middle reliever that they could trust, that it goes out there and is impactful. They need a third baseman. They need another bat, preferably at the third base position.
Yeah, it could be third, it could be short. It's a left side of the infield, but swings as a righty. Yeah. That is what we talked about in the offseason. It's a clear need for this baseball team. They know it's a clear need. It's why they waited all offseason to try to land Bregman, and I'm not faulting them for it. I think they were right to identify that as a need. 248-539-9797. So what is the statement they made? The model of consistency. The statement, Jack is back. A rallying cry. Go add another piece. That they've caught the Lions. Whoa. That they've caught the Lions. You guys let us know. 248-539-9797.
That wasn't Teddy.
Don't push all the buttons.
No buttons here.
Let us know. 248-539-9797. We did get a ticket texter who says... the Home Plate Club. They go, how are these games sold out? Can we address the Home Plate Club? It says standing room only, but there's seats available behind the dish when you watch on TV.
It's a high
wrong.
Price.
It's priced wrong. That's the only takeaway I have, is that it's priced wrong. People are not willing to pay what it goes for. It's priced wrong.
And I haven't looked to see what it is on, aftermarket. Because we had some people text in, hey, we got tickets in the Home Plate Club, but they were aftermarket tickets. I don't know how much those are going for. I haven't looked.
But it stands to reason they're not selling some of them, though, because eventually, like supply and demand, secondary market, no one's claiming them. Game starts in an hour. Someone would pay the cash. It's clear that they are not selling them at a price people are willing to buy. It is a weird dichotomy, even being at the ballpark Sunday, when you can hardly find an empty seat. Like if you look up in the 300 level in the corners, you can see a few, and then there's a bunch right behind home plate. But everywhere else, there's people. They can't get enough of Tiger baseball. It's just priced wrong.
They're nice.
They're nice.
They're really nice.
It's just not worth
finished
it.
yet, though, either.
That's the key.
So if you want to go get that food and drink, that is also
you got to go
that comes
all the
along.
way
You've
up
got
around.
yeah. So maybe there's a lot of people that are just
waiting.
Well, that's what this guy says. He goes, "I purchased Home Plate Club on Friday." Maybe even the guy maybe the same guy. He says, "Don't purchase the ticket until they finish it.
Yeah.
The walk between your seats and the food is half the stadium.
It is.
Got to get to the Tiger Club.
Yeah.
Once it's finished, that people won't be, because that might be a couple of the empty seats are people who have made that walk and are just staying.
When we went and we were lucky enough to sit in those seats, we watched a majority of the game from whatever it's called, the Tigers Club.
Yeah.
Because of that, that's where the food and drink was. So we stayed there.
248-539-9797. Want to talk Tigers after a weekend where they took 2 or 3 against the Cubs? It's 97.1.